get it. You're coming out. I get nervous.
Okay,
we have this.
Fine.
We have
what
this.
Are you covering it up with?
You have these in Britain. It's called the septic. When men
we
shave
don't
and they
care.
cut
We
themselves.
just bleed.
You guys bleed. You're tough that way. Yeah. So we're friends, and yet I feel like you don't need my help anymore. You're up here in the stratosphere, right?
I still need you.
Really?
Yeah. You know. How do you think the second album did so well?
It did well, right? Because
Yeah,
you
it
came
was
here
again.
and campaigned again here. Yeah. Now let me ask you something. You call yourself the anti-diva. I kind of agree with that. But why do you call yourself the anti-diva?
Actually, I didn't, but everyone else does.
But other people call you the anti-diva. No.
I'm trying.
No, but you're not much of a diva, are you?
I don't want much, but I like, I'd like to try it for a day.
Yeah. And what do these divas do? They demand a lot of things?
I don't know. What do divas do? I always thought they just sort of sung loud.
They say, they sing loudly. They belt it out and show off their pipes. But do you show off their pipes? Their pipes. They're singing. Anywho, backstage at a concert, do you demand certain things in your dressing room? Besides the silly ping pong table, do you demand anything?
Yeah, the ping pong table. I had a phase of like throwing jokes onto the rider just to see whether we get them.
Oh, that's cool.
So we try stuff like cherries with the stones taken out, or an elephant, or just something.
No. You guys really did an elephant?
We got a lot of stuff. We didn't get the elephant. I got a lot of small elephants.
Yeah.
And I didn't get the real thing, which I'm a little upset about.
Wait. So where were you? Where was this concert at that you were requesting this?
Oh, I've had I do it all the time. If I get bored, I just put something on the rider just to see if anyone's noticing that I'm changing.
Oh, really? And do they know you're joking, or they think you're serious?
Well, no, they think I'm serious because the things start arriving. The cherries with the stones taken out. I asked once for a Barbie in the local costume, a Barbie doll in the local costume, and I turned up in Maine, and in my dressing room there was a Barbie in a lobster.
Classic.
She had this like really cool lobster dress on.
Right.
And it was awful because they were like, "We did the Barbie for you," and I was like, "Great," just thinking, when did I put that on the rider?
Well, I'm thinking you're putting them through all this work. Mm-hmm. You're just doing it to take the piss out, right? To joke with them, right?
Yeah, but it's fun.
Right?
Yeah.
Well, that's not nice.
Okay.
But if you really want, why don't you think what you really want? Because you could get some really cool things instead of the silly. You're just putting them, making them jump through hoops and doing this. Think of something cool.
For crack and whatever.
Yeah, exactly. Right. I knew that's how she writes her music, with the crack. Now. Do you like being recognized in public? Are you recognized a lot in public?
I am, but I'm also not. I've worked out how to sort of walk around without being recognized. And also, a lot of people come up and they're like, "Wow, you really look like Dido." Because I'll be on the bus or be somewhere where they're not expecting to see me. So they're like, "Oh, has anyone ever told you look so like her?" And I'm, "Thank you, she's great."
That's funny.
Totally.
That's good.
And yeah, I've had that. I've had people saying, "Wow, is your name spelled like the singer?"
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Wow."
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I love that. Depending on who they are, I tell them I'm me.
Right.
If it's some like freaky old guy, I'm like, no,
never
heard of her. And if it's a kid, I wouldn't lie. Do you
wouldn't lie to the kids.
Yeah, it's actually always the kids that are more definite. The adults come up and they're like, "You really look like Dido," but I'm not sure. The 5-year-olds come up and they're like,
"Yeah, they
Dido."
know. They can see. They can see. But I heard that you did this on occasion. If you want to say, "No, I'm not. I'm actually a prostitute." That's what I read that. Is that?
No, that's the answer to the "what do you do" question.
Oh, okay.
So I'll be somewhere and they go, "What do you do?" And I think, well, I can get away with really not being me tonight, so this is cool. And it's just embarrassing to say I'm a pop star,
Yeah.
It's just like...
You don't have to say you're a pop star. You can say I'm a singer.
It's more fun to say you're a pop star.
Okay. Right. But have you said to anybody I'm a prostitute? Because
yes.
I've said that.
I have said that.
I say that sometimes.
The two things that are guaranteed to cut a conversation dead and get rid of whichever person is asking is I'm a prostitute or I'm an accountant.
Oh, yeah. Very boring, very boring. Now, they recognized you in an Italian restaurant? Is that right?
Oh, no, that was...
was that in Italy, or where were you?
Yeah, it wasn't even in a restaurant. It was in the middle of a town square in the middle of this event called the Palio, which is like this ancient horse race in Siena.
And you were...
And I'd been sitting there. No, I'd been sitting there with friends the whole day.
Yeah.
And we were eating in this sort of... with thousands of people. And I didn't think anyone would recognise me. I heard the odd phone ring of one of my songs, but didn't think anything of it.
Yeah.
And then suddenly the whole square started singing "Thank You." It was the weirdest thing, and I was literally sitting there, salami in my mouth, sort of like, you know, just like, and I ran. I just ran away.
Ran away. I'm a prostitute. Leave me alone. So here's an interesting. I don't like talking about money with people, but you were listed in England as one of the 100 richest women in England, number 97, which is, by the way, when you saw what they said she was worth, it was considerable. It was a lot.
It was, wasn't it? I was very surprised.
And how much they said you were worth?
Yeah, my mum called and she was like, I had no idea. I was like, nor did I.
Yeah.
And obviously they exaggerate that a lot. I think they just, I keep ending up in those lists, and I just think they like putting pictures of girls in.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because they just make stuff up, and then your mum and dad call, and they're like, wow, you know.
Yeah, maybe the record company's keeping all of it.
Yeah,
That's
I mean,
probably what's
somebody's
going on.
obviously keeping some of it, but I'm not doing bad.
Have you bought like a country home or anything? Or?
No, I bought my house, and that's it.
In
really.
London?
Yeah.
Is the press there as bad as people say?
Yeah, I mean, every day I wake up and I don't even read the papers, but people call me and they're like, you're dating a 19-year-old footballer, and I'm like, great.
Yeah.
Okay. You know, just it's absolutely constant, and the stuff I read about myself, I mean, all of it's funny to me.
So it doesn't bother you because some of these other people, like John Cleese and even I read David Bowie, these guys are like, they're sick of it. They can't go there anymore. The press is so, they're almost cruel, aren't they, the press?
Yeah, they can really turn on you, so
Yeah.
you sort of have to, you know, be nice. But, you know, it is nice to get away from it and not feel that sort of oppressive thing that every time you leave the house you're going to get photographed. And
so when you leave the house, are there people that's taking pictures?
no, you never see them.
Oh, you don't? Wow.
No, you just see the pictures. It's really strange. You know,
How does a celebrity pick their nose then? Because, you know, you go outside, you don't know where the cameras are, because when I want to pick my nose, I make sure I'm walking around outside picking my nose. But, so all they say is that they romantically link you with footballers?
Oh, they do everything. I'm scared of bananas. I'm going out with 19-year-old footballers. You know, this, that, and the other. I mean, it's absolutely endless and always wrong, which I sort of like, because they just never really find out anything that's right.
Right. So you actually, it doesn't bother you, but it bothers other people.
Yeah, I only don't like it if it starts affecting the lives of my friends and family, or if they start photographing, or no one will come out with me anymore because they don't want to get photographed.
Right. We should point out that the footballer is he's like 25, right?
Oh, is he?
All right, stay with us. 5 questions when we come back with Dido. With the lovely Dido, the very talented Dido. So you were in Canada rehearsing, correct?
Mm-hmm.
And
yeah.
Then, how was that? Why'd you choose that?
Because I wanted to go skiing.
Yeah.
While I rehearsed.
And
then
do you ski?
I turned up and looked at the insurance contract and was like, oh, okay.
Is that that's with the record company? They won't.
They just didn't want me to sort of break a leg like the day before the tour started.
Right.
So I went bowling instead and threw my shoulder out.
Did you?
Rock on. Yeah.
Are you klutzy? Is Dido a klutz?
Well, quite obviously I am. I've never been bowling before. It was very exciting.
Yeah.
Actually, I went into minus numbers because I didn't realize you shouldn't run over the thing. And
she ran over the thing. Okay. Did you like the process of choosing the bowling shoes? At least that was kind of fun, right?
Well, everyone was really jealous because I got handed the sort of, you know, the special green ones and no one knew why.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
It's really exciting.
Yeah, it's exciting. No, did you find bowling very boring or what?
It was okay for like 20 minutes. I have a real short attention span.
Yeah.
I was like, I threw some balls, wasn't very good at it, threw my shoulder out and went home.
Yeah. How do you throw your shoulder out? You held onto the ball? Is that what you did? Or what?
I have no idea, but...
And then as far as the skiing, have you ever skied before?
Yeah, I started learning to ski at the beginning of this year because I'd never skied before, and so I went off to Canada and started to learn, and it was sort of fun, but it was about minus 30 degrees. I mean, there were people coming down the mountain with frostbite, and you know, it was It's sort of fun.
Yeah, you can get hurt. You can actually break legs and limbs when you ski. So that's.
Well, so I've been told.
Yeah.
But, yeah. No, I mean, I sort of fell over a lot, but it was fine. I tell you what was dangerous was cross-country skiing.
Really?
I properly injured myself doing that.
How do you do that?
Well, I'd waxed my. I got excited when they handed me the wax, and I didn't know what it did, and it makes them fast.
Makes them go fast, right?
So I was like waxing away all morning, and then every time I got to a hill, I'm like, why am I going so far? It was like a sort of roller coaster. And at the bottom of every hill, I'd wipe out. And I'd basically done a month of proper skiing and not injured myself at all. And one day of cross-country skiing, and it was a mess.
Yeah.
Don't do it.
I'm sensing klutz by Dido, but I don't know. All right, you ready? Time for 5 questions. Here we go. Geography. How many U.S. states begin with the letter D? That's a tough one.
None?
I'll give you one more guess because I'm friendly that way.
Yeah, but do you count Dakota?
No.
Because it's north and
no,
south,
we don't
yeah.
count those. It's actually somewhat difficult. You have to think. You know, you might not know.
We could be here sometimes. I'm just going to like throw a sort of like 3.
3. Incorrect. It's 1. Just Delaware. Just Delaware. Okay. All right. Start off tough.
Yeah.
What kind of bird is that?
That's a dodo.
A dodo bird, ladies and gentlemen. Which of the following people is not currently running for president of the United States? You ready? Dennis Kucinich, Sam Cassell, or Ralph Nader?
I don't know who anyone is. Who's Ralph Nader? Is he like Darth Vader?
What's that?
Nothing.
Is Ralph Nader like Darth Vader? Kind of.
I'm going to go with Ralph Nader.
Incorrect. Sam Cassell, injured point guard for the Minnesota Timberwolves. You can't accept that. I think they're cheering for this. They're cheering for the sports team, I believe.
Okay,
Yeah,
right.
he's a guard. The other 2 people are actually candidates. Okay.
Why are you making it so difficult this time?
I'm sorry.
It's always easy before.
I'm sorry, because you saw the dodo bird, and I don't know. 10 seconds on the clock. Say thank you in 3 different languages in 10 seconds. Are you able to do that?
I don't know.
Okay, go.
Thank you. Merci.
Right.
And what's another?
You could say, you know, Dankeschön or Grazie.
Dankeschön, there you go.
Yeah, very good. Yeah, yes, yes. All right. I don't know if you'll do this, but we have a writer on the show, Mike O'Brien. Will you smash him in the face with a pie after he says to you, I really dig your music, Brittany?
I'd love to.
Yeah? Come on over here. Okay, here you go.
Oh, it's a pie.
Yeah, now let him say his line.
Oh, I'm sorry.
I really dig your music, Brittany.
Yeah, right, whatever.
That felt good, right? We had a guest actually miss the person, right? Because the person went like this and they missed. Right? All right, there's the CD Life for Rent. It's in stores now, doing very well. Great to see you again.
Yeah, and
All right?
thanks for having me.
Dido, ladies and gentlemen. We'll be right back with another myth.